This is the story of an aircraft that took off but never landed, and then reappeared under impossible circumstances. Today we dive deep into one of aviation's strangest unsolved mysteries. Pan Am Flight 914 was on its way from New York City to Miami, but the plane disappeared midway. The interesting thing is that before disappearing, it didn't leave any distress signal, and after disappearing, its wreckage was never found. Now, where did such a big plane disappear to? No one knew. Decades later, strange tales began emerging. Stories of similar disappearances and inexplicable reappearances, most notably the legendary Pan Am Flight 914 from 1955, which supposedly landed decades later in Caracas, Venezuela. Today, we'll uncover the chilling story of Flight 914, separating facts from folklore and exploring theories both conventional and extraordinary. The 1970s were a vibrant era of disco music, fashion trends like bell-bottoms, and booming air travel. Airlines thrived, and aircraft like the Boeing 727, a popular and reliable three-engine jet, dominated the skies. Flight 914 was typical. Families on vacation, business travelers, and even a renowned musician heading to perform in Miami. The conditions were clear and the aircraft meticulously maintained. It was a calm, clear morning on July 2nd, 1955. Pan Am Flight 914, a routine journey from New York City to Miami, soared gracefully into the skies. At 9:15 a.m., Flight 914 lifted off into a clear autumn sky. Everything appeared normal. Then, at precisely 9:45 a.m., air traffic control lost all contact. The plane's transponder vanished. Within hours, one of the largest search and rescue operations in history commenced, involving the U.S. Coast Guard, Navy, and numerous civilian volunteers. Despite exhaustive efforts spanning weeks, no debris, wreckage, or survivors were found. Investigators scoured radar records and weather reports, finding nothing unusual. No severe weather or mechanical anomalies reported. So, where could such a big plane have gone? According to records, there were 57 passengers and 4 crew members on this plane, meaning a total of 61 people were on this plane, all of whom disappeared along with the flight. It's September 9th, 1992, and the place is in Caracas, Venezuela, which is 1,200 miles away from Miami. Juan de la Corte was at the air traffic control, keeping an eye on the coming and going planes, when suddenly his attention fell on the radar. He sees a new dot on the radar that shouldn't be there. At first, he thinks it might be a mistake, but as he looks closer, that dot is slowly coming closer. After seeing that dot, Juan thinks the radar has gone crazy, showing anything. Suddenly he sees a plane in the sky approaching the airport. That is, the radar was showing the correct reading, and besides Juan, everyone present at the airport sees that plane. Everyone was amazed to see that plane and was wondering where this old plane came from. The pilot of that flight contacts the air tower and asks, "Where are we?" Hearing this, Juan replies, "You are at Caracas Airport, but first tell me where you came from." To this question, the pilot says, "This is Pan Am Flight 914, which is going from New York to Miami." Hearing this, everyone is shocked, because this was the same flight that had disappeared 37 years ago and was now appearing after 37 years. After a lot of conversation, Juan gives permission for that plane to land, and when the plane lands, Juan immediately sends security guards to safely rescue all the passengers and crew members. So as soon as the guards reach near the plane's pilot starts arguing with them. Juan and the guards try to explain to the pilot, but the pilot doesn't listen to anyone and starts the plane's engine again and begins to take off. Juan tries to stop him, but the pilot doesn't listen and takes off into the air and disappears again with the plane. and from 1992 until now there has been no trace of that plane. This story sounds perfect for late-night radio, but exciting stories stay alive only because people repeat them, not because they're backed by solid records. So let's open the file and look at the hard evidence. First clue, Pan Am's schedule. Historians have full copies of every Pan Am flight plan from 1955. There is no Flight 914 on July 2nd or on any other date. Second clue, the airplane itself. Many versions of the tale say the jet was a Boeing 727. Trouble is, the 727 wasn't even designed until 1960 and didn't fly until 1963. Other versions mention a Douglas DC-6, but that kind of plane needs long runways, fuel stops, and radio beacons that don't match the legend's details. Third clue, where the story began. The first known report came from Weekly World News, a supermarket tabloid famous for fake headlines like "Bat Boy found in cave." They printed the Flight 914 story 3 times and changed the facts each time. Fourth clue, aviation officials. The US FAA, Venezuela's aviation agency, and the International Civil Aviation Organization all have accident records going back to the 1940s. None mention a mystery landing in Caracas on September 9th, 1992, or ever. Fifth clue, basic physics. Airliners carry just enough fuel to reach their destination, plus a safety margin. A plane can't fly 1,200 miles off course, vanish for 37 years, and still have fuel to take off again. That breaks every rule of aerodynamics and chemistry. Put together, these clues shout one thing. Flight 914 existed only in a newspaper's imagination. It's folklore, an urban legend about our hopes and fears, not about real physics. Einstein said that time slows down as something nears the speed of light, but Flight 914's speed, about 315 miles per hour, was only 0.04% of light speed. After half an hour, it would gain less than 1/10,000th of a second. That's nowhere near 37 years. Gravity can also slow time, but only near a black hole, and there isn't one between New York and Miami. Some scientists talk about wormholes, shortcuts in space-time, but those are just theories. Even if one existed, the forces around it would tear an aluminum plane apart. In short, physics gives Flight 914 no way to jump decades into the future. So why do we love stories like this? Our brains try to turn random events into neat stories. Psychologists call it narrative bias. Planes already feel magical, 100 tons of metal floating miles above the earth. When one disappears, we look for meaning. Real mysteries make us even more curious. Star Tiger vanished in 1948, Flying Tiger 739 in 1962, and Malaysia Airlines 370 in 2014. When there are no clear answers, legends rush in to fill the silence. Urban legends soften hard losses. They whisper that maybe the missing aren't gone, they're just waiting to land somewhere. Aviation historian Dan Hagedorn sums it up. Pan Am kept perfect records. There is no Flight 914. If a mystery airliner landed here in 1992, every tower log would show it. Even the old newspaper clipping on YouTube comes from Weekly World News. And that's the real story behind Pan Am Flight 914. A gripping tale, but one printed in tabloids, not in flight logs. If this deep dive helped clear the air, hit like, subscribe to Mindflick, and ring the bell so you never miss a landing. If you got another mystery you want us to explore, drop it in the comments below. Keep your eyes on the skies, your facts on the ground, and your curiosity somewhere in between. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next approach.